This story is about my father, Alexander Francis Nemeth. My father's parents, Frederica Walter and Alexander Nemeth, were married in Budapest just before World War II broke out. Alexander Sr. was a successful barrister who also played the violin. He was a member of the Hungarian football team. Frederica was a champion swimmer. Their enviable lifestyle was dramatically curtailed by the war. They suffered the ravages of hunger, losing 3 sons at birth or in the first weeks afterwards. Alexander Sr. became part of the anti-communist resistance and persona non grata at the end of the war. The birth of their 4th son, Alexander Jr., or my dad, in 1947 propelled them across the border into Austria with nothing more than a suitcase and a baby. They lived in an Austrian internment camp, waiting for the next boat to take them away from Europe. The ship they got on happened to take them straight to Australia, but it could just as easily have been going to Argentina. Their arrival to Australia in 1952 meant safety, but a new language, food they didn't recognise, and hard, menial work. Alexander Sr. got a job at the old Dunlop rubber factory. Frederica worked as a barmaid where the Hilton Hotel is today in Sydney. They both fought tooth and nail to provide their one and only son with a private school and university education. My father attended Christian Brothers High School in Lewisham and went on to enrol and successfully complete a pharmacy degree at the University of Sydney. In 1964, during his first year at uni, Dad met Janet Elizabeth Roberts, or better known to me as my own mother. They both completed their degrees at the same time and spent their early adulthood living and working in London, where they ran a successful pharmacy together. They spent the remainder of their time overseas, travelling across Asia in a combi van, and as you can see, they were the picture of style and sophistication. Upon returning to Australia in the late 70s, my dad owned and operated 2 pharmacies in Auburn and Greenacre in Sydney's west. Despite the thought of having children being absolutely absurd for my parents, they gave birth to David Alexander Nemeth, my older brother, on July 14, 1985. A mere 5 years later, I, Michael James Nemeth, was born on the 5th of March, 1990. My parents, who were never married, separated in 1996. They have remained friends since this time, something which my brother and I are truly appreciative of. After this separation, my dad continued to work incredibly hard to maintain his business and to afford my brother and I every opportunity in life. Retrospectively, I don't think my dad knew what a day off meant. My dad retired in 2007 and has spent the most recent 4 years of his life sailing around Europe with his new partner. He is currently in the middle of sailing back to Australia, scheduled to return in November. People have asked me if I miss my dad, and of course I do, but I cannot think of a person who is more deserving of this kind of life.